I had like asked my friends if they had like wanted something to drink before we went to this event, and they said no, thank you. And so I was like, okay, I'm bringing my own thing, and I told them I was bringing my own thing. And so then I brought, because like alcohol is expensive at the event. So before I got there,
you pull one mason jar full of tequila sunrise out of your purse in public, and suddenly you're an alcoholic.
I drank it in my car.
That is now immortally online, Jess.
I drank it
in my car.
First of all. And you know what? I probably saved like $20-$30 of alcohol that I did not
before you walked through
exactly
the gate.
That I did not need to buy.
The fact it was out of a mason jar and you carried it in your purse means a lot here. Don't discount those details.
Does it mean a lot?
Yes.
Yes, I made it in a mason jar, and then so that's like tightly sealed. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, that actually makes perfect sense to me.
It makes sense, but there's something about a mason jar and hick moonshiners and this that is completing the picture.
It was also like 9:40 in the morning.
Well, that's also a very important detail.
That doesn't help your case, Jess.
We were there for
opening ceremony. Gates. Yes, I love the opening song. That's like 10 a.m. on the dot.
Anyway, hello.
Speaking of ceremonies.
Right.
Welcome, everyone. I am your mistress of ceremonies for the evening. It's been a hot minute. We're so happy to be back and to see you all back. Thank you for being patient with our series of failed con saves that led to us missing our last session. But this show is back on the road and the show must go on. We're going to be continuing our game of Crossroads Carnival by Magpie Studios, written by Kate Bullock. This evening. Crossroads Carnival is an ash can, so it is sort of a very, very thin, playable, early release material that may or may not ever be developed into a full-sized game, but it is fantastic and quite a lot of fun, even in its current form. It's also quite cheap, so pick up a copy if you like what you see here.
Quite cheap, and with no plans of becoming pay-to-play. Let's just make that point there.
Amber sounds like such a roller coaster announcer right now.
Whatever. I am a roller coaster.
I feel like I'm getting ready to like get strapped in.
Yeah,
and, like,
you're gonna buckle up, bitches. You're making a wild ride. Speaking of buckling up, there are a few content warnings that come with this game. Due to the improvisational nature of RPGs, it's impossible to anticipate every difficult material that may arise, but there are a few that I can give you a fair heads up about here. That includes violence and abuse toward children, which is non-sexual in this case, themes about misogyny, patriarchy, mental illness, general violence and emotional abuse, a fair amount of body horror, Judeo-Christian religious horror, and some pagan, but that's more on the folklore side, as well as all types of othering and outcasting you can expect to see in this week's episode and in this series in general. It is a horror game, so difficult subjects come with the material. We want you all to be as uncomfortable as you are willing to be and no further. We don't want real harm to come to our audience, so take care of yourselves. And with that, I will give us a quick recap on our previous two sessions and we will get right into the action.
Do you want to maybe take a minute to reintroduce characters too, because it's been a while?
Yeah, let's do the character reintroduction first, actually, so I have some context for the recap.
I can do mine first then. I am playing, this is mostly to remind myself because I'm old, almost as old as my character. Fenemy is almost, just a couple years younger. Fenemy is actually the Delphic Oracle of Apollo. She is that old. And she's immortal because she's the daughter of Apollo. And she is a very kind of like lean, woman who looks like a young 50s but with very steel gray hair, and she is the seer in the carnival, but the only thing is she can literally see the future. She's not bullshitting you. So that's what I'm playing.
Okay, I can go next. I play a character named Joan. I don't know really what to say about her. Joan loves to eat. She is a wolf person type of situation act. She's just very hairy, like all over head to toe, face, hands. She's friendly, playful. She plays a lot of pranks. She's very loyal to the circus and she's loyal to her people and she cares about them a lot. She's been missing for the last session, so I'll get more familiar with Joan as we're playing. She's good friends with Sondor. That's like the one note I have here, and is suspicious of Yeva.
And she collects people's dogs.
Yeah, that's true too. She liberates them. Let's liberates people's dogs.
I am playing the strongman Sander, who is supernaturally strong. I guess he was cursed by a rival for boundless strength that he cannot control, to the point where he has accidentally killed a few people and he does not want to.
Ew.
Yes.
Accidents happen.
Accidents happen. He has yeeted some weights by accident.
Accidental weight eating is quite a way to die.
Death by eating.
Death by eating.
So he tries to be gentle around the carnival, and he's off to the side for most of his daily in and out lives, unless he's interacting with the rest of the carnival, doing his what needs to be done around the carnival.
And similarly to Joan, missing from the last session because I was dying, I am playing Yeva. So Yeva is the snake charmer. Similarly to Fenemy, she is actually significantly older than she looks. She is the daughter of a Gorgon. But instead of Fenemy, she very purposely takes a very youthful and exotic and sensual appearance. She uses her body to get what she wants, basically, and she just likes manipulating people and taking things from them that they like. Doesn't have to have value to her, it has to have value to them. And I am also playing Mahala, who is her snake, a massive yellow python. It is loyal to Yeva and Yeva only.
Her baby.
Her baby, yeah.
Her sweet baby.
This evil woman and her snake.
All right, that's a quick overview of most of our cast. Levi, played by Troy, is not present tonight, but will likely reappear for the grand finale. Thus far on Crossroads Carnival, what you all have missed if you're just tuning in is our mysterious kind of liminal space occupying carnival has rolled up into the small, dusty town of Silence, Oklahoma. Tiny town of 300 people. We are in December of 1938, dead smack in the middle of the Dust Bowl in the Depression, perched in this little town that is, they have found, doing a bit better than most of the other sort of damned and despairing places that they visited recently. It is perched by a large stretch of shelter belt, which are some trees that were planted in a government effort to try to slow the erosion of topsoil. And the people here are not quite so starved, not quite so hopeless, not quite so forlorn. There are more supplies in the shops. They're not by any means living large or anything like that, but it's a noticeable difference that they are faring better, and there doesn't appear to be any outward reason why, which is the first sort of uncomfortable thing about Silence, Oklahoma. But our carnival and our crew must perform if they want to eat. There are mouths to feed, there are supplies to be bought, repairs to be made. So a little bit behind schedule. They had wanted to be in a much larger city for the holidays, but dust storms and whatnot have set them back. They have pitched up camp and set up to spend a few nights performing and entertaining the folks of Silence over the holidays. We start on opening night and go through our actors as one by one. They put on their shows to delight, titillate, frighten, and disgust all of the rubes of Silence. And during these performances, which they are quite used to, several of them noticed some different things. Fenemy met a young girl who did not give her name, came into her tent to have her fortune read, and asked about her sister. Fenemy tapped into her oracular powers and saw some disturbing visions about what may have befallen this young girl and what may befall her yet still. It became very apparent to Fenemy right away that something is very wrong in the town of Silence, but before she could further pursue those questions, the young girl ran away. Several other children were noticed at different parts during the acts, as well as some perhaps more prominent members of society picked out of the audience. But the crew got together after opening night and decided that this town has some secrets, and they're best to keep their wits about them over the next few days if they want to survive it. In our second session, they went into town after a young woman from town, Emma, very pregnant, approached Sandor and basically begged him to ask the ringmaster to take her on so she can travel with them. She was terrified and frightened of staying in this town and having her child here. Waylon turns out to be quite a decent guy, as most of the long-term circus members know, and agreed to take her on in exchange for work and give her fair wages and whatnot. But supplies needed to be bought and fetched from her residence. So the players sort of divvied up some tasks and ventured into town. It was Sandor and Fenemy who went to Emma's residence, a little house perched on the outskirts of town, decidedly kept from the sort of town proper, an outcast's home, in disrepair, where she shared her home with an older woman, Helen, who is also kind of a pariah of the town. They had some conversations with Helen, gathered Emma's things, met a young boy, Ricky, who also had some concerns about what all the parents are doing and what is happening to the children who have been disappearing each holiday season from Silence. It's a bit tight-lipped, very upset, very angry, but gave a few useful tidbits of information before he went about his business. Meanwhile, Levi, who has seen a young boy, Eli, multiple times, who in fact got lost at the circus the night before because he's very mischievous and runs around and has sticky fingers and can't be contained by his older brother, despite how hard the older brother tries, was in the woods again. Levi managed to go in after him a short ways, where the woods took on a very different depth and feeling, but he lured the child back out into the village and is walking him back to the carnival. And that is pretty much what happened most recently on Crossroads Carnival. So we will continue on this day. This day is the night before Christmas, or the morning before Christmas. We're in Christmas Eve right now. And Fenemy and Sandor, you are still in the town proper, just heading back from your visit with Helen. But we are, and Levi is, walking this child off to the carnival where he will be absent for this session. But we're going to start our opening scene a little bit previously. Some folks have been missing. Sandor, Fenemy, Levi woke up in the morning to find, a few of their regular friends and actors not around. Not an immediate moment for concern, but something that nevertheless doesn't sit perfectly well when you know you're dealing with a strange town full of strange people. So what were they up to? We're going to start with the very, very pale light of false dawn filtering through a dirty leaded window, some tattered just very sun-bleached curtains, onto a bed in a bedroom. In this bed is a sleeping man, out cold, snoring away slightly, and a somewhat disheveled Yeva waking up. Yeva, you're waking in this bed here. You, during your performance, immediately singled out what turned out to be the town sheriff, Grant, the night before. And we were especially intrigued by the fact he was both enamored and disgusted by your performance. It was not hard. It was not very hard after that to get you to slither your way back home with him.
Not at all. Are you kidding?
And here you are, the morning after, waking up, and you're in that moment of absolute quiet stillness where you know this man is sleeping beside you. He's completely out cold. And you're sitting there in that moment of power, realizing you could do anything you want to him, and there is nothing he could do about it. And the absolute trust that nothing bad will happen to him is always especially delightful. They're so naive, so ignorant. They don't even know what they're doing. But you're sitting there relishing in that moment of realizing you could kill him if you wanted to. You could do anything. The most powerful man in town is laying in bed, stark naked, and his gun is on the chair in the corner, gun belt just looped over the side. All his little petty personal belongings are scattered about. All these little bits of his life, little bits of his secrets everywhere. And you, a stranger, have your will, have your way with this moment. What do you do?
So besides the bed, what other things are in the room?
The room it's sparsely populated with furniture. So there's a chair in the corner that he mostly just throws stuff on from the look of it. There's like a hat and some pieces of clothing piled on it, the gun belt looped on the side there. There is a small desk, looks like a writing desk. It's got some stacks of papers, a couple beaten up old books, some plates and cups and dishes that have piled up there. And there is a closet that is closed. Other than that, there's not much in this room. There's no art on the walls. There are no soft touches anywhere, really. It's sort of a bare minimalist look right now. Very bare bones.
She's disappointed at the lack of pretty fabrics, but is understanding. So she's going to take a look at the papers on the desk, see what this guy was working on.
All right, you slide out of bed, quiet as a mouse, and walk soundlessly across the floorboards over to the bedside desk there, and start leafing through some of the papers and books. One of the books is a beaten up, worn copy of King James Bible. No good Christian would be without one. There are a few kind of notes that are just scrawled on loose leaf paper about sort of petty crimes. So-and-so is reported this going missing. There's a date, a couple like kind of self-recorded statements from witnesses, things like that. Nothing in there looks particularly scandalous or important. Things gone missing, altercation down at the local eatery, that sort of stuff. You find a few scraps that are like receipts from the general store. Foodstuffs, common things, nothing fancy, nothing indulgent, no sign of spending on presents or anything like that. And you see there's some ammo purchases on the most recent receipt he bought. A not insignificant amount of ammunition, especially considering how expensive it is, relatively recently.
Okay, so weird, but not anything scandalous.
Yeah.
So she'll kind of take a peek, just a light peek into the closet, just to see if anything stands out, anything out of the ordinary.
Give the closet a quiet little crack, slip that open in there. The first thing that greets you is, the kind of leather and dust smell of working men's clothes and boots and whatnot. And you see trousers, some hanging shirts and jackets, a couple extra belts looped over. But you do see a couple boxes covered in dust kind of at the very top of the closet. And there is also a woman's dress pushed all the way to the back, kind of hidden by where the closet pole disappears into the wall area. A single woman's dress.
Prizes. She is going to very carefully reach up, take the boxes down, and kind of just leaf through them.
You kind of settle lower on the floor, pop the box open. You hear Grant snoring, steady and deep in the background, gives you more confidence that you're not about to be caught at this ungodly hour. And you open it up, and they are personal effects of a woman. There's a hairbrush, a pocket mirror, a little clutch bag, a couple jewelry boxes, soft, pretty things. Not a ton, not necessarily super expensive or anything. They're the sort of things you would expect of, a woman of a town this size in this place. Couple nice things made in tarnished silver, a locket, something that might have been passed down through generations. But they're all packed away, and the amount of dust on this box indicates to you has not been opened in several years.
So upon seeing this, she's going to look back at her conquest, and she wants to check his left hand for a wedding ring.
He is still wearing a wedding ring. Plain silver band, not a fancy affair, but it's there.
She's going to take the hand mirror, pretty, always useful, slip it into her bag, pack the box back up where it goes, close the closet, and then try and steal his wedding ring.
Right off his sleeping hand. All right, that's going to be some good roll.
Yeah, I was like, what do I have to do for this?
Let's take a look at what we should do here. Let's see, maybe this will just be kind of an ability roll.
Oh my God, I have to check what the moves, like the regular moves are.
I mean, would it be like indulge or inner monster? Is that an inner monster thing?
Could be, yeah.
It is an indulgence, but the kind of effects of that move don't really match what she's
That's true.
trying to do.
That's fair. That's true.
Let's see here.
I mean, I don't know if this would work. I mean, I could just do a grace roll.
That was going to be my other suggestion.
Grace is more of a social.
Is it?
Could be Guile.
Yeah, Guile is like manipulating and Grace is like understanding.
I see.
People.
I see.
But let's give it a grace. Let's give it a grace.
Okay, so it's
trying not to wake this man through an understanding of how men sleep and how asleep he is.
And how men work,
we'll go with that. You're in tune to this guy right now.
2d6 plus roll, yes?
Yes.
Okay. That is a 13.
13?
I rolled a 5 and a 6.
You kind of, his hand is just kind of above his head. He's sleeping face down, and you just kind of slip over he holds your hand a little bit as you lift it. His hand closes around yours very slightly, and you just sort of ease the ring down to his knuckle, and he shifts, and you just, not even panicking a little bit, reach out and just caress his hair gently, and he settles back down as you slip the ring off, never waking.
Once she has her prize safely in her possession, she's going to, again, slip it into her little bag. She is going to get dressed. And then she's going to look over to where his gun belt is and just take the gun.
Doop, doop, doop.
Take it into the bag. We've done it. This is second game where Troy has not gotten the gun. I have.
Sarah got the gun
Wow.
first.
I'm stealing everyone else's bits for this character. So she is going to just slip her bag over her like she hasn't stolen 3 things from him. She is gonna do the gentle little sleepy face caress, give him a little kiss on the forehead, and just leave.
Just open up that bedroom door, walk on out into the short hall, about to cut through the kitchen to the front door. And as you're leaving that hall into the kitchen, there is a boy sitting at the kitchen table, eating some oatmeal, maybe 13 years old, kind of roughed up. He's got a bruise on his face or two. And he's just like spoon to his mouth, just freezes and stares at you.
Hello, darling.
You see, you know what? This is a roll here. This is a roll here. Let's see.
She's playing it cool. She's definitely encountered kids like in this sort of situation
The
before.
old walk of shame.
You think she has any shame in this?
Not at all. No, but you probably pretend you do.
Yeah, she doesn't. She has to pretend. Yeah, sure.
This is going to be, I think this is an offer comfort roll coming up here. There's a lot on this kid's face right now, and with the right consideration, you may be able to get some information.
Plus grace. Okay, I can do that.
Hello, darling.
It's not perfect. It's a 7.
Oh, a 7. You still get to ask a question out here.
Okay.
I'll give you a little context before you pick here.
Yeah.
So the look on he's shocked to see you, but it's not the shock of like, it's a shock of that is immediately followed by a disgust and a disdain, not necessarily for you. He looks at you and you can tell he's immediately thinking about his father and like, how dare? And there's anger under that as well. He sees you and you're not the point. He's just so mad at his father that you are here.
That makes sense. Okay. So she won't sit at the table, but she'll walk nearer. And so the question I want to ask is, what do you desire from your father?
Okay. Let's see how we can play into that. As you kind of come nearer, he says, when did you get here?
And she recognizes that he knows, basically, and just very quietly, calmly, just late last night.
With that circus?
I am.
And he just kind of huffs, and he has a moment where he's laughing at something to himself that he finds very not funny, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you can see like the muscle in his jaw feather a little bit, and he holds the spoon a little tighter, and he just looks back down and he like shovels another bite into his mouth.
At this point, she does perch herself kind of sideways on one of the chairs. And she'll just kind of lean in slightly. I know how you feel. Sometimes when you're on the road, you just need comfort. But I know that's not fair to you.
Miss, you have no idea how I feel.
What do you want, then? What do you want from him?
I don't know why you like him, but he's the biggest hypocrite in the world. And a lot of people would be better off if he were gone.
What is he hypocritical of? Lawmen going against the law, one of them.
He sort of puts his spoon down a little loudly, and he stands up and he says, I don't know you. I'm sure you're a very nice lady. But Dad's a real piece of work bringing you home after what he did. And he sort of, he tears up a little bit. After what he did about Ruth. And then he turns around and he just leaves the building. He goes right out the front door and shuts it kind of hard.
She just kind of watches him quietly for a second. Is there a back door or is there only a front door?
I think there's a back door too.
She leaves out the back. This kid needs space. She just fucked his
Flip
dad.
like, that door closed kind of loud. I'm gonna go.
Also, I'm gonna really quick, because I want to interrupt this. Ray and Stuff, thank you for 11 months of resub. C-Stock, thank you for 9 months with Bezos money. And we got rerolls all around from Doc Void, so that is 1 roll for each of us.
Nice.
Doing my quick love now.
Thank you.
Something's so much better about getting Bezos money.
It feels very
really
rewarding.
It does. Just take it from his cold Scrooge-like hands.
Grubby little hands, yeah.
Every Christmas tree goes visit.
Slowly robbing the dragon's hoard.
He doesn't even give a shit. It's like taking a copper at a time out of the red dragon's hoard.
But yeah, it's the very nice lady sneaks her way out of the back and tries to make her way back to the carnival unnoticed.
You slip right out back. It is quite early in the morning.
Yeah.
There are very few souls about. A couple people that you see just sort of in the distance, waking up, going out to scrape around in the dirt where they're trying to grow something, or throwing a few scant scraps out to skinny dog, that sort of thing.
I'm sorry. Scrape around in the dirt was really funny. It's like
just scrape around in the dirt.
Prototypical like American dust ball, like 30s.
Yep, it's just dust. Like, they're really just moving it around, but they're trying. They're pretending.
Some skinny person with a hoe is just like, ugh.
Just hoeing dirt out there.
Hoeing dirt. And then the other hoe's going home. Okay. So
so you quickly, walk down the little lane, trying to keep to the side. Here and there, the sort of early risers, everyone that notices you does stop and stare, like notably. The walls have eyes, and they are taking note of the nice early morning visitor leaving the sheriff's house.
Good. They
None
should.
of them are smiling or have at all approving looks on their faces. But no one approaches you or stops you, and they watch you as you swiftly make your way up the little hill toward the sort of clearing outside of town that you can see all the little tents and whatnot and trucks parked in for the carnival.
Yep, and she's looking for her bestie. She's looking for Mihaela. She wants her snake baby.
Where are you, sweetness?
What if the cat sound is pss, 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 what's the snake sound? How do you summon a snake?
I don't do the pss, pss, pss for cats. I do.
That's
I do
true.
a clicky sound, So my snake sound would be the pss, pss, pss.
I mean, the snake probably knows what Yeva smells like from a mile away. So.
Oh yeah, the snake is meeting you partway as you're through the field, just slithering along. Giant yellow constrictor snake, just out, slithering through the sort of withered winter grass here in the Oklahoma swept plains, just coming to mama.
Yep, and it's just right into her arms, right around her, just little kissies on the snoot, like she didn't just ruin some lives.
Oh, I have missed you. His child saw me. Excellent. There's a mustache twirling as you go back to your tent.
His child saw me. His neighbor saw me. I got a gun. I'm winning.
They see you. Instead of walking faster, you just put extra sachet into those hips as you walk around. All right. You get back to the carnival. It's very early morning. Just a few of the earliest birds are up, starting to hang or do some early morning wash, get the cook fires going and stuff. But everything appears normal. And you slip back to your tent to get yourself properly cleaned up and ready for the day and whatnot with Mihaela. Joan, you also have a very early morning. You're sleeping quite comfortably, you're like, you're in that really good comfy sleep spot, and you're like, and you're drooling a little bit and you don't care. And then you're just like, perfect comfy sleep, and you're just hearing the distance, bark, 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 getting just more urgent and loud, and you're like, and then you feel a wet tongue on your face, and you just start waking up all groggily, and the first thing you notice is that you do not smell like you are at home. The first thing you always notice when you wake is where the place you wake smells. It's how it smells. Doesn't smell like the oil and the candy floss scent and the sweat scent of the carnival, the motor oil, none of that. You smell woods, and not woods that you are used to. These are not the woods of the Midwest and whatnot that you occasionally have seen either in your past or visited this little scraggly patches thereof. These are deep, deep raw woods. And it smells cold and it smells moist. And it smells just like brisk with pine and growing things. And you wake up and there's a cold, the ground is cold and hard and damp against your cheek. And as you lift your head, some pine needles sort of fall from the like fur and hair on your face. And there's a taste in your mouth. First like meat, and then you're like blood. And there's stuff stuck between your teeth. And there is a beagle, little, very skinny, little scrappy looking like beagle mix, barking at you.
Beagle I know or a beagle I don't know?
You're like, you don't have any memory of this beagle. You're somewhat used to waking up without your memories, though. But this little beagle is barking at you, and you're like, oh, hey, cute puppy. And then you realize he's afraid. This is not like a, hey, get up, or playful thing. He's sort of frantic. His eyes are large and bulging, and he's looking around, and he's barking at you because he's terrified. And you can see like the little ribs on his sides sort of flashing with how big his breaths are. And he like keeps running toward you, then running away and looking around frantically in the brush and things around him. His tail is tucked really low to his body.
Aw.
He's very scared.
Can I offer comfort to this little dog?
You absolutely can.
Hey, little buddy. What's wrong? Where's Timmy?
Where indeed?
I got an 8.
All right, you can pick.
Okay.
You get 1 about what's going on with this little beagle. Like, hey, bud, hey.
I guess who here frightens you is what I'll try.
All right, you're like, hey, buddy, what's going on? And you sort of reach out and you manage to pull him in closer to you, and he tucks himself against your body. And you're looking around the woods, and you're looking where he's looking, where his ears are twitching toward where he's sniffing.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a couple, maybe a dozen yards away, enough to have given you space, but not so much that you don't immediately kind of question why you did not notice her there before. There is a woman. She's sort of leaned against one of these really tall coniferous trees. You're not really familiar with it. It's not quite like a tree you've seen anywhere else. And she's very wild looking. Her skin is dirty. Her face is weathered. Her hair is just a wild mess of mats and tangles with like burrs and bits of twig and leaf in. And her clothing is just layers upon layers of like different threadbare rags and whatnot, just piled on until there's something a little more formidable. But she's leaning against the tree and she's carving up a rabbit. It's making those soft, wet noises as she's pulling the skin off right now, just degloving this whole thing. You hear the wet slop of her kind of throw the hide to the ground, and then she splits it open, spill some of the innards out. And you're like, that smells delicious. But the dog is terrified of her. So
it's all right there, little fella. It's just a lady eating some rabbit, I think. Dad, I don't notice anything else. Nothing seems dangerous.
She's not doing, other than gutting this rabbit in a very efficient and brutal manner, she's not making any like outward threats or anything. She knows that you're there. You look at her and she kind of gives you a cursory glance and then kind of just grits her teeth a little bit and goes back to her gruesome work.
I'm gonna take like stock of myself. Like I'm wearing clothes. I'm got shoes, no shoes. Like
your clothes are just tatters that are clinging left to your body. You can tell from the quality of the few bits of clothes that cling to you that you had an episode last night, and Sandor did not stop it.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. This dog is afraid of her. But the dog is staying, like when I let him go.
Yep, he's kind of tucked against you now, and he's not going anywhere. He's like hiding behind your leg.
Hi. This dog yours?
She looks at you and she says, Nope.
Oh. All right. Where are we?
You don't remember coming here last night, little wolf.
No, I don't, but it sounds like you do. Remember?
I know everything that happens in these cursed woods.
Oh, so you live here. This is like your home.
Mother's home is where her children are.
Huh. So you got kids. So you got kids. All right. She's just like looking around.
Why are you so nervous? Don't you want to stay?
I mean, no. I mean, I have a home that hopefully will be not leaving without me. Would like to get back to them.
There's no home for the likes of you anywhere near Silence.
Oh, so we are still in Silence.
You're near Silence. In a way.
You're very menacing sounding. So what did you see last night?
You mean you asking me if I saw you, little wolf?
I mean, it sounds like you saw me. I just don't know what or how much you saw.
She sort of finishes with the rabbit and looks at you, and she just sort of pins it against the tree with the knife for a few minutes and just scrubs her bloody hands on the outermost layer of her various skirts. She looks at you and she says, "Couldn't you feel it when you first came here? The trees."
They are trees, yes.
Well, something in you heard them calling.
Now I
Something
ended up
that
here.
longs for a place with a little more shade and space.
None of my friends are here. I got a family. I got friends.
You can always make new friends.
I like the ones I have.
You're sweet.
In all due respect, lady, you don't know me that well. And I don't really know you that well.
Oh, I think I know you better than you like most.
Well, that's not comforting. That's not comforting at all. You gonna share some of that? Not just for you?
She looks at it and she says, "It's for you."
Oh, well, I guess you're nicer than you first appeared. That's very
She's
nice.
like, "I'm sold. I was given food."
Very, very nice. How did you find me?
I heard you. You're not quiet when you're hunting.
No, I'm not. Did I catch it? I caught something. Yeah, I can tell.
Some small game.
Can I tell the taste that's in my mouth of blood? Can I tell like what kind of blood it is?
You're like,
Yeah.
think you maybe got a rabbit or two, maybe something more weaselly.
All right. Okay. That's good.
Thanks.
Hunting's better in these woods. Best hunting for miles.
You sound like you want me to stay here. Do you need a friend?
I have long since got over any sense of loneliness. It's not me that wants you to stay. It's the trees.
Oh, the trees want me to stay. I understand. I'm following. I understand. The trees.
Oh, that's great.
You're very much of two minds. I think you think and see a little more clearly at night.
If only I could remember. How long have you lived out here?
Since my boy moved.
When did he move out here?
It'll be 2 years to the day tonight.
Oh. Is he around here?
He's around.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna
Almost have enough.
you almost have enough. Enough what?
Enough friends.
You're a very ominous lady. All right,
With you,
well,
things will move up faster.
oh, I can't stay here. Like I said, I already
Oh, but
have
you
a
must.
home. I must. What?
You belong in a place like this, a place still wild. Not with all those trucks and dust and men and guns. She kind of
You get
stoops down
used
for a moment
to
and picks up a handful of like just dirt and loose pine needles and crumbles them. You belong here. You can help with the work.
I mean, lady, I don't know how much you know of me, but I'm a pretty domesticated wolf now. I've gotten used to like the men and the dust and the trucks.
No such thing as a domesticated wolf. That's a dog. She kind of glances at the cowering beagle. You are a wolf.
I will keep that in mind. I'm just gonna take my gift rabbit here and go. But thank you. Very nice to meet you,
Mary.
Mary. Hope I don't meet your son, but you have a lovely day.
You'll be back tonight.
I certainly
You'll
hope
be back
not.
every night.
Every night.
Have a good day, Joan.
You know what? You keep that rabbit. I'm just gonna take this dog and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the dog and just try and find my way back if I can.
You're like, and you just head off. She doesn't follow you or anything. She doesn't follow you or anything, and you're walking and you kind of glance behind and you see her. She's not really doing anything though. She's just kind of watching after you. That just kind of look of certainty on her weathered and haggard face as you put more and more trees between you until she is lost in the forest line.
I'm just gonna keep petting this dog more for myself than the dog. Like just nervously. Like, huh.
This little dog is trembling in your arms. So you can feel his whole tiny body vibrating, which is made kind of more severe by the fact he's very thin.
Oh, does he have a collar or anything?
Nope.
Nope, no collar.
Just a scruffy looking little beagle mix.
My dog now.
More of a pup than a dog. He's probably, 10, 11 months old. Less than a year. Not like a little baby puppy, but
puppy, 10 years.
less than a year old.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
And you're walking barefoot through these woods. The cold frozen ground is very firm beneath your feet, except when you hit a patch of moss, still green in the winter chill, or a thicker pile of needles here and there, or the
How
soft,
much?
feathery boughs of Princess Pine.
Sorry to cut you off. How much of what she said like felt true inside? Like, how much do I like this forest or not like this forest? Do I get any sort of sense of that?
Yes. When she spoke to you, you felt a longing in the pit of your stomach for a place like this. You've always found home among people and pack. You've never felt a sense of home in a place before like you feel here. And as you're walking and your feet are treading lightly on the soft needles, the cold ground, the stiff bits of moss, your steps almost feel familiar to you, as if steps of those before you, forefathers before you, paws before you, have walked these same game trails through these same woods. It feels old and it feels familiar in an old way that's in your bones. And that frightens you because the parts of you that feel that longing, that feel that familiarity, they're the parts of you that frighten you the most.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I am just going to continue to nervously pet this dog and head back to the surface. Yeah.
Looking around, the woods are very dark. It's very early in the morning and the woods are quite dense. The canopy is very thick and you only see bits of slashes of sky here and there where a tree is perhaps fallen and knocked down some of the older growth here or there. But it's like an illusory night almost in these woods. And the woods feel way larger than they have any right to be. You saw the shelter belt at a distance when you were coming through the hills. It is a belt of trees. It should take 3 or 4 minutes of brisk walking to cross through to the other side. But you feel like you're in the middle of something, somewhere else, or maybe somewhen else. And it just raises all the hairs on your back and on your arms, just at alarm, livened with a charge. And you're kind of wandering lost in a ways. And as you're going, you hear, the small bits of life here and there, the scurrying of a squirrel in the underbrush, the flutter of something with feathers in the canopy above, or the snap and slither of lower, slower things in the darker shadows that your vision cannot penetrate.
God damn it, I hate snakes.
But the woods feel very much alive.
You don't happen to know the way home, right? I'm just talking to this dog now.
This poor buddy. All right. You may wish to make a move to navigate these woods if you want to peruse the options available to you.
Okay. I guess there's keep an eye out for darkness. I'm trying to see if
you combined 2 moves there in the title of one.
Oh, wait, yes. Keep an eye out for trouble. Whoops. I did. Strike a deal, blah, blah, blah. Lash out. No, it's not it. I'm trying to see if Indulge or Inner Monster gets you anything. No. Endure the darkness in the face of danger. All right, I guess I will do keep an eye out for trouble.
All right, give it a roll.
Plus guile. Oof, I got a 5.
A 5?
My
Not
guile
good.
is -1.
You have rerolls. Don't forget.
I do have rerolls.
You do have rerolls.
Yep, we have one for each of us.
I will use my reroll.
All right.
Will I use my reroll?
It's classic Jess to reroll worse, just so you all know.
Same here, actually. It happens.
Or
a lot, too.
just take the ring from Chris, run into the next room, and then kill yourself.
Fun times.
Classic Jess.
I don't know. All right, I will do a reroll. Why?
Yeah, why not?
I got a 4.
There it is.
We stand a queen.
That's our chest.
All right. You are quite well and firmly lost.
Yeah, that's
and
great. I've got a Dorothy
You've
dog.
got
It's
this
all
little
good.
pup.
I've
You've
got
got a punch
Toto.
to your chest, and you're going to be wandering the woods for a little bit at least.
Just me and Toto. I'm just going to be talking to this dog the whole time.
And she wanders for several hours.
Yeah.
And several hours later finds Sandor and Fenemy leaving Helen's after having that little run-in with the boy on the road, the sheriff's son, and heading either back toward the carnival or elsewhere into town. But the boy has just departed off on his way, and you are kind of down at the end of the long dirt drive that leads to Helen's house, either about to rejoin the sort of more main drag of town or set your course elsewhere. It is getting closer to midday right now.
I think we were heading right home, right, Kent?
Yeah, pretty much going back with all the stuff.
Because I remember Fenemy, I think if I remember correctly, she got some vibes off that kid with some abilities, I think. I don't remember if she did.
Yeah, you were trying.
Yeah, I can't remember that exactly, but I know she was pretty shook up about it. So she wants to just like get back because she wants to feed the sheriff to the snake.
Yep.
She knows he's a bad man. Yeah.
Wait, did you say I run into them as they're like heading?
Nope.
No, okay, you're
lost
jumping to them.
for
All right.
several hours. This
I'm
is
lost
now
on
midday
board.
now,
Yes.
and you are at this point still wandering.
Do I forget, Jess, don't we have like what's Fenemy's relationship to Joan? I don't remember that. If we had something.
I don't know if you had. Hold on, let me see. I don't have anything written down. I don't know if it was something from on your character sheet.
I don't know. I have Yeva gives me opium. I don't like Levi. We clash. And Sandor and I kind of hover over Sandor because I have actually see his future and want to stake a step ahead of it, but I don't tell him what it is.
That's right.
So
I don't think we have anything.
It could conceivably be something where, wait, did we just change all around?
Yeah, we just lost Kent.
We are one.
And we moved all around. Hold on. Let me just rearrange people while we do this. So
yeah, I don't think
wait until he gets back because it's gonna move it all again.
yeah, I'll just wait for that. Kent is
I
now
don't
mistress of ceremonies. So we could
I'm not ready for this.
We could say
Ken is not prepared.
we could say that you probably might not like the fact that she kind of hangs around Sandor a lot, maybe. I don't know. That's up to you.
I mean, I think it's fine. It sounds like you help Sandor.
Yeah, it's nothing.
You're kind of a creepy old mystic. I don't know.
But she's not like a bitch.
No. There's
Just-
Yeah,
definitely-
you're
it's
nice.
just weird.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're like one of the fam. Like, I don't know.
All right.
You're probably just neutral.
One of the fam.
One of the fam.
Yeah, we're probably just
What?
neutral.
Okay.
All right. If you're heading directly to town, you do not pass go, do not collect $200 sort of directly to
Yeah,
town.
that's for Kent.
You can avoid most of the main drag. You are on the outskirts of it right now, so it's easy enough to just sort of continue to skirt around the town back
Sorry
toward
about this, everyone.
the site of your camp.
Why can't I move Kent?
Oh gosh.
No, well, that's just because I made the main thing.
Kent is a
Kent is an
movable.
immovable
Yeah.
object
He is. He's literally
and an
immovable.
unstoppable force.
We never claimed to be a professional Twitch stream. Who cares?
Oh, I've seen this happen on professional Twitch streams. I just don't understand why. I might have to just delete you guys and redo this. We keep talking. I can do that while we do that. Yeah.
So skirting around, keep talking as I talk to you, Christian.
Yeah. Let's do that first. Kent, for a minute, you're just going to have to be stuck behind the thing.
That's
yeah.
fine.
All right.
You two arrive back at the camp, carrying the couple little bags that you had packed of Emma's belongings, and one of Helen's paintings. That's right.
Yes.
And you kind of roll back up into camp. One of the first things you notice is that Yeva is back, doing whatever Yeva so chooses to do, nearing midday around the carnival.
Yeva is she's giving Mahala her noontime meal and little like the equivalent of like a snake back scratch to help with like her eventual shedding.
Justin.
So, like,
Oiling the scales.
Yeah, Snake's getting pampered.
Nice.
She's out there pampering the snake by one of the larger, warmer fires. These cold-blooded things do love heat.
Yes.
And seeing that Yeva is back, Sandor, you probably look around for Joan, wondering if they went off together to fight or interrupt each other's plots or whatever it is that they do. And you don't see any sign of her. Probably starting to get more antsy about that.
Yeah, because it isn't unusual for her to disappear. I do occasionally miss her episodes, but she's usually back by now.
And the longer she's missing, the worse situation you tend to find her in when you do find her.
I'm sorry, didn't we run into her on the way back?
Nope.
I'm lost in the woods.
We switched scenes. She was like, "You're lost," and then we're gonna go to us.
Yep, it's lost for several hours. And then speaking of several hours later, these guys are leaving Helen's house.
So fine. So I'm sorry, I got lost. I legitimately got lost in time. So this is pre or after Helen?
This is after Helen.
Okay, so
yep, we sort of did flashbacks for early morning what Yeva and Joan were
I'm
up
sorry,
to.
I knew that.
Timelines
and then everybody disappeared, and I got like I'm not very smart, and I can't do many things at once, so I kind of got distracted.
You're old. It's okay.
Yeah, I am. I'm losing my mind.
He is having a senior moment.
A senior moment, a boomer moment. I was mad. I just read a meme about millennials, like, buying too many avocados, and it made me mad. So,
God, that's even an outdated meme.
I know. That was the
Millennials
joke,
killing
Sarah.
the napkin industry.
I was aware
really
of the
like
fact that I was
napkins,
making
so
that
made you
joke,
mad.
Sarah. Thank you. Please give me some credit. So,
No.
now
I want to point out that I think Jess feels attacked.
No, I love avocado toast.
And she loves napkins.
I also love napkins, correct. I'm a mixed millennial.
God damn millennials. If you didn't buy so many avocados, you do have a house though, Jess.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that blows that one out of the water.
I told you, mixed millennial.
Yeah. So
like napkins.
Anyway, forget all that stupidity. Fenemy is going to head right over when she gets back because she's worked up about this. She's going to head over and she's going to see Yeva.
She looks in a particularly pleased mood. And Fenemy knows what that means.
The serpent that ate the canary.
Yeah. So she walks right in and she's about to talk about the sheriff and she's just like stops. She's like, "You bitch, who was it?"
Oh, please. You looked like you had something to say to me. You first, darling.
It's this town. She just kind of sits and scratches the snake. Because I think that maybe like, even though your snake only has eyes for you, I like to think that Fenemy.
No, she accepts Fenemy because she knows that Yeva and Fenemy at least get along.
We've got the Greek
Apollo
thing
2
going
at least
on.
has a little association with serpents, with the healing.
Yes, that is true.
Yes,
That is
yes.
true. So I also have some snake mojo. Maybe not quite the snake mojo you
Little
have.
tiny bit of snake mojo.
So she's like, it's this town, dear. It's just, it's an awful place. There's awful things going here. I can feel it.
What sort of awful?
And then we were getting the new girl's belongings, Sandor and I, and we met the boy, the sheriff's son, and he had this horrible black eye on his face, and the sheriff is planning something against us. That's what he said. It's the sheriff and the priest in this town, and they are doing something to the children.
Okay, hold on. New girl?
Yes.
When did we get a new girl?
Oh, this morning while you were off. Well, she's pregnant. She's very nice.
All right.
All right.
2, what are the sheriff and the priest doing with children?
The boy had a girlfriend, Ruth. I remember him saying something about like what they did to Ruth, and she didn't do anything wrong, if I remember this correct.
Yeah,
yes,
I think
the girl whose fortune you read asked about her sister Ruth, but did not give you her own name.
Okay.
And the little boy also.
And the
talks
boy
about,
had mentioned someone named Ruth too, Yeva.
Yeah.
that his dad had.
All right, so I didn't hear the name Ruth. The boy didn't give me that
No,
name.
no. I think there was
I think
a
you
little
both
boy.
have Ruth. You have Ruth from your vision in this first episode, and you have Ruth from the boy saying that his dad had done something to Ruth. You just have no idea who Ruth is.
Right.
No,
but I also
you
remember
do.
the boy saying something like that to me too, along the lines.
Yeah,
of
I was gonna say,
somebody
there
didn't
was
do anything
the
wrong,
little
and something still
boy-
happened to her. Yeah.
The little boy at Helen's place also talked about Ruth not doing anything wrong.
Yep, that's right. Which is the sheriff's son.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, this
Right.
well,
That's right.
I gave a reading to a girl asking about her sister Ruth. Okay, she's missing in the woods, and then we're leaving. We got the new girl's belongings at this house, Helen's house, and the sheriff's son was there, and he said Ruth didn't do anything wrong, and they still took her away.
Well, he was certainly still upset about it this morning.
Wait, the sheriff? Ugh.
Enemy, you know I have my reasons. And she reaches over and lazily grabs her bag and pulls out a nice shiny gun.
Oh, well. I mean, you could have just stolen it, but okay.
She puts the gun in the bag, rifles around a little, and then pulls out a wedding ring.
Ugh.
So
Well, now he
anyway,
has more reason to run us out of town.
Yeah, really. Well, now he's definitely coming after us as soon as he finds those things missing.
At least he doesn't have his gun.
Probably has another somewhere.
Probably.
It's a small town in Oklahoma.
It is the 19th. It's a small town in Oklahoma. He has another gun.
Oh.
But it is.
That does not help my argument.
It is the Dust Bowl, so maybe he's too poor to have another one. Then it'll just be pitchforks.
he was the only, at my show, he was the only man there with a gun.
Why do you have such a thing for men with guns?
Because if I take the gun from them, they can't hurt anyone.
There, I suppose. So, listen. Part of me wants to get us out of town tonight because I see bad things. Part of me wants to just have Sandor destroy the town, but I don't want him.
Sandor, level it.
Sandor just craters the town like the whole.
Initiate bulldozer mode.
I don't want him indulging in that because I just don't. And part of me wants to feed this priest and this sheriff to your friend.
She just looks at Mahala and just, are you hungry? And the snake just like looks up with these like sweet little beady eyes.
Little tongue flicker. Danger noodle.
Danger noodle.
It's been quite some time since she's enjoyed the taste of human.
Right. Well, how do we just have to, well, it should be easy for you to lure him back now. No, that part of the plan is over.
That's fine. That's easy. He barely put up a fight. He was very easy.
Well, they always are.
I know. Sometimes
I don't know why you
the
keep doing it.
seduction
It's
is
just
the
so
fun of it
boring.
all. Him?
But you know how it's going to go.
Sorry, my audio cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said, you know how it's going to go all the time.
Still makes it a fun challenge.
Does it, though?
You've seen how many fun trinkets I've gotten. I got a beautiful hand mirror out of his place, too.
I guess. It's just, when you can see the future, it's just not fun anymore. So,
Well, that's why I do what I do, and you do what you do, dear.
which is opium. Do you have any, by the way?
Which is opium.
I left that man's room with a gun, his wedding ring, and his dead wife's mirror. No, I couldn't
You're telling
find
me
any
a cop
opium.
didn't have any drugs?
He barely had blankets. Do you know how cold I was last night?
This man has one pillow. One.
Yava's got priorities, baby.
Oh, I need to get to a bigger city. All right.
So what? We did get the sheriff and the priest, kill them. Mahala gets a lovely meal, and then what?
Let me get the fuck out of town. We could probably feed the priest to Levi. He likes that sort of thing. You have something else to feel bad about.
We could work with that. He always finds himself into churches. Maybe he could get us the priest.
I'm sure he could.
I could make him.
Yeah, you do that. I don't like talking to him. He's so confused. Where's Joan anyway?
I actually haven't seen, heard, or smelled her this morning. I have no idea.
It's not good. I don't think we should be wandering off alone in this place. Those woods. There's something about those woods, and what's out there.
Why? What's in the woods?
Look at them. They're greener than they should be.
How
Is
long
it
have
the
we been
Christian
traveling
God
this?
that gives green woods to sacrifice?
Wait.
You and
When is sacrifice playing into this?
Why else would children be missing in the woods? You and I have seen this before.
Point. What, you don't think they're going to kill Joan, do you?
No, but Joan just could get into trouble. You know how she is.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
Who's
I
going
like
to feed
Joan.
all
It's
her
just,
dogs?
I'll go see to the dogs. I'll ask Sandor if she's around. And yeah, clean yourself up. Ugh, God, that's gross. And she just
I look for power, Fenemy, she says as she walks away.
Sandor, where did you head immediately? You strolled into the camp together, and Fenemy went off to Yeva immediately. You kind of looked around, noticed Joan was missing. What did you do as Fenemy was having her conversation?
First things first, we'll bring.
Fenemy just hands
Emma
you
her
the bag
yeah.
that she was carrying, just puts it on the pile, and now you have all of Emma's stuff.
I'll bring Emma and Waylon her stuff. They're probably getting her trying to situate her up as we speak. While I'm over there, I'm gonna ask Waylon's if he has seen Joan at all, and it's almost midday. She's usually back by now when she disappears.
Yeah, you actually find new tent has been pitched for Emma in the meantime until they can find her something a little more substantial. And Wayland and and Brayden actually are carrying a couple little crates in and some stools, and they've laid down a carpet, and they're just sort of helping to move stuff in for her, get her a little cot set up and everything. Emma's sitting outside and she's peeling a huge pot of potatoes, probably for tonight, while they're doing more of the lifting stuff for her tent.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees you approaching with her meager worldly possessions and a couple little bundles, and her eyes kind of brighten up. And she sort of sets the potato down on the little paring knife and gets up with that sort of grunt of effort that the very heavily pregnant do when they stand. But stand she does, and she comes over to you with her little waddle, and she's like, "Oh, Sandor, you're back already. Was Helen all right?"
She was fine. She wanted to send you her wishes, and in one of the bags we have here is one of her paintings, correct?
Yes.
And trying to remember, it's been a couple weeks. She appreciates the vase that
we left the vase.
left her?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
She's like, "Oh, I'm so glad. That woman, she's an angel. And she's really done so much for me. I think she's about the only person left in Silence that I'm going to miss." Oh, you don't have to just hold those. I think there's a spot for them in here. And she sort of kind of goes over to the opening of the tent, and Waylon says, "Oh, yes, Sandor, right over here. You can just leave it in that pile. Braden and I will help situate it."
All right.
Thank you.
I will gingerly place things down. And
You're you just hear horrible clank as everything in as the bag explodes. You set it down the scene. Just break all of this woman's worldly possessions. I can see you sweating the whole time you're carrying this one little suitcase and duffel bag, and you're just like.
It's especially bad because Fenemy was carrying the painting.
And
Fenemy was just here.
You're like, no. You actually just stand there until Waylon takes it from your arms.
I'm just gonna hold it out. It's yeah, you can put it down. It's no.
You're like, he's like, I will put it down. And he lifts it from you. At least the tent does not have a door, really, so to speak. Just a flap.
Yes, but I've destroyed flaps before.
And Waylon just sort of says, like, all was well, no difficulties with any of the locals?
Nothing too bad as usual. The
Christian.
No, that was
Yeva. Oh my God. Channeling Christian. Oh, damn. Guys, if we ever put this
I
chat
love how
up.
automatically you think that's me.
I did. I read it and I didn't. I was like, oh my God. Oh my
That's
God.
like
Sarah,
too
you
far-
are leaning into
yeah.
this Yeva
That's
Christian
too far
position
from
swap
me,
thing.
honestly. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
heard it and I thought it too, and I saw the realization on Sarah's face, and then I saw her start to type it, and I was like, no, don't do it, Sarah. No.
I will not elaborate, but for context, I just very quietly typed a dirty joke into our Zoom chat, and everyone thought it was
like a Christian level dirty joke. We were shocked.
Wow.
Sarah is leading hard into this her and
My
Christian swap
reputation
places for
is
this
so
RPG.
bad. I didn't even realize.
I'm so sorry, Kat.
Someday, all of this can be yours for subscribing to our Patreon.
That does not exist yet, but
Yeah,
someday.
that doesn't exist yet.
Maybe.
But we do have the chat saved.
Oh God. All right.
What was I saying?
You had asked if, and then you wanted to ask if he had seen Joan or anything.
Yes.
Oh, I found it a bit odd that she didn't turn up for lunch yet. No, I don't think I haven't seen Joan. I don't think he kind of looks to Brayden, and Brayden just kind of shakes his head. Haven't seen her since last night. And then Waylon gets that look of concern on his face because his worries have gone to the same place your worries have. Perhaps we should send a few more into town to ask around for her.
How often is it that Joan kind of finds herself into the bits of shelter belt that we've in towns we've come across?
Usually when Joan has episodes, they go one of two ways. She either ends up in a place she either ends up in an altercation that involves the public and public resources or the public themselves and causes quite a bit of destruction, and you guys have to break camp and get out real fast. Or she ends up in the most desolate, remotest place that she can get to on her own two legs in a night's journey.
Seeing as there was no outcry of public.
Yes, you were
this
in
morning
town and you did not hear, the outcry of someone discovering a grisly murder scene or a bunch of butchered animals.
Mm-hmm.
That calms you a little more. Probably more the running and hiding to quiet, isolated places.
So I'd probably say, as we were in town, we didn't hear any signs of Joan. So it's most likely that she is probably in somewhere, in a place where people don't go. Probably in the shelter belt, or further out into the plains.
Waylon nods and he sort of steps out of the tent for a minute and he looks, away from the town out into those rolling windswept plains where it's just desolate, nothing for miles and miles. And then he sort of nods and he says, it's better than public outcry, I suppose. Likely no one got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then he looks back toward the town and the shelter belt beyond. And that worry kind of creases his brow. I think I'm not so certain. Perhaps we should pack up and head on out before the holiday this evening.
I think
We should find Joan.
Fenemy was thinking the same thing. She doesn't quite like the feel of this town.
Not certain many of the fine folks of silence would like to be spending their Christmas Eve with us. No matter how talented we are, how good the food is.
There does seem to be something going on. Me and Fenemy ran into a boy, I think it was the sheriff's son, kind of gave off a grievance of missing children around the holidays.
Behind you, you hear Emma's small, soft voice say, "It's been one every year for the past 2 years." When you turn to look at her, she kind of has her hands clasped under her stomach. She's worrying her fingers, and she just looks scared.
Turn to Emma and is like, do you know how the children usually go missing?
They're not missing, not officially. They get sent away.
Yeah.
The first boy, Eric Pike. They say he killed his pa, and Ray did end up dead. Don't know that the boy did it, but the sheriff seemed pretty convinced, and he's just a lad, so they decided to send him to a larger town for help. His mom wasn't convinced that's what happened, though. And then last year it was a girl. Ruth. She was going wayward. And then Emma kind of makes a sour look as she says the word wayward. So, off to a church with the proper nunnery. And you can tell by the look on Emma's face that she doesn't believe it.
From the short run-ins we've had with the children, none of the children seem to believe it is either. So.
Nope.
But it is probably, I'll turn back to Waylon. It's probably best we do kind of find Joan and try to get out of here.
Waylon sort of nods, and then you can tell he's thinking more, and he says, How many children were at the carnival the night before? Do you think you can get a rough idea?
I think I saw at least 3 or 4 running around, but I usually keep to myself, so probably some of the other acts will probably know better.
I'll ask around, Waylon says. My people are my first responsibility, our people. But it doesn't sit easy with me that children are disappearing or being sent away.
Can Fenemy show up at that moment?
Sure.
All right. Waylon knows all the truth, right? Of us.
About your natures?
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. There you are. Oh, good. Sandra, you're here too. Hi, Emma. How are you?
She says, I'm well. Thank you for helping
My pleasure,
to retrieve my things and say goodbye to Helen for me.
Yeah, she's a wonderful woman. It's too bad she couldn't come with us too.
Stubborn, she says.
Well, that's an admirable quality, actually. Do you mind if we speak? Or actually, first of all, am I interrupting something? I'm sorry.
Waylon says, no, not interrupting at all. Joan is still missing, so we're worried for her, and seems the favor of the town has been is turning.
This place is fucked.
This place does appear to be well and truly fucked. He
Yes,
agrees.
This is fucked. This is a fucked place. As a place of fuck. We need to either leave, maybe just all of us, maybe if we can grab some kids on the way out. Fuck, they think we kidnap kids anyway. Let's just take them and save their lives. Because someone's going to be fed to something tonight.
Waylon says, I'm starting to have suspicions of as much.
Waylon, I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen it in the way that you know that I can see things, but I can feel it. It's very, very wrong. I did a reading for a young lady. Her sister was missing, Ruth. And it's not good.
Did you see something about Ruth? Emma says.
Did I? Yes, I saw the woods, right?
Yes.
You saw her
Woods.
eaten by vines and
The woods
Deep,
and the
dark
slithering
woods
vines and the
and
thorns.
vines slithering all over her with thorns in them. And it cut her skin, and it was like the forest was drinking her blood.
Emma looks so pale right now. She kind of reaches back and sits back in her chair and she says,
Enemy doesn't lie.
Ruth was a sweet girl.
I know she was. I saw that.
Her sister never gave up on her.
I could see that too. And there was something with the sheriff's son, wasn't there?
Emma gives kind of a pained look and she says, people don't really talk to me like they used to. But there was a little bit of a scandal. Ricky and Ruth, I think they were sweet on each other.
And for that, they sent her away.
Only one of them got in trouble for it, though.
Of course. Of course. Been that way
Of
for
course.
longer than I wanted
She
to
cradles
get.
her swollen stomach.
Yeah. Enemy just pats her on the shoulder. It'll be better going forward.
She nods.
Oh, I'm going to use the touch. Fuck it.
Hey.
Haven't read
Fuck it. You want to roll some dice.
I got these abilities and I'm using them. Roll plus breath. Oh man, that's good. That is a 12. I know. What secret do you know about? What secret does she know about the sheriff? That's what I'm trying to see. Oh, I actually get 2 because I rolled a 12, so I get 2.
Yeah, you get to.
I want to see what secret she knows about the sheriff, and I want to see what she's afraid I'll see.
Okay. So, about the sheriff, you see Emma. She's a little younger. She's not pregnant.
Fucking sheriff. I can see where this is going already. Okay.
She's a little younger. She's not pregnant. She is. It's nighttime, and there's a commotion outside. She's leaving a building on the main drag, a building within town, and she's heading toward the commotion. There's a small crowd gathered in the dark, and you can see the silhouettes of them illuminated by the lights on in the windows at this house down the road, a bit farther away from the church, a bit pushed back, but not outside of town. There are some raised voices, and you can hear a woman crying, hysterically, sobbing. She approaches the scene. There are people kind of set away from the house a bit, and they're talking, and you hear snippets of it. And they're saying, like it's a massacre. Devil get into that boy. Someone's crossing themselves. She kind of goes a little closer, and you hear her kind of call out, "Is everything okay? Is someone hurt?" And then the people are like, "There's been a murder," and you can tell she's keyed in on the sound of the woman crying. She calls out. She says, "Mary, Mary," and she kind of pushes her way through the crowd, and she says, "Is Mary all right? Mary, what happened?" and she's calling in. The front door is open, and you can see the sheriff kind of blocking the way. And behind him, you see a whole lot of blood on the floor. And farther behind that, you see Mary. She's sitting on a chair. She's holding her head in her hands, crumbled, and she's just sobbing and sobbing. She's bloody. Her face is bloodied. You can tell even between her fingers, like her cheek is swollen. It's purple. Her hands are bruised. Her nails are all jacked up. And the sheriff stands to block Emma's way, and he says, Emma, turnarounds doesn't concern you. It's a private matter. And she says, Mary, she's hurt. And he says, turn around, Emma. And then she goes, where's Eric? And the sheriff says, the boy is taken care of. And she tries to step forward. Emma's very small compared to this very broad, large man, but she tries to push by him, and he just kind of like strong arms her back. And his hand goes to his gun. And he says, everybody, back up, clear out. This doesn't concern you. Go home. Do not pry. And Emma just sort of says, Mary, oh my God, what happened? But Mary doesn't answer. And the sheriff gives kind of Emma a final shove, and he closes the door.
Okay. Is that also part of what she's afraid I'll see?
Emma is afraid that you will see her flirting at a bar, a place where no respectable woman belongs. But she did go there. She did wear that short dress. And she did talk to those single men. And she did get their interest. She got one traveler's interest in particular, and he was charming, and he was funny, and he was nice. And she did like him, but he wasn't a good Christian boy. But she liked him, and he liked her. And you know, she liked the Lord too. But maybe not enough. And she's afraid that you'll see that she is fallen, that she is a sinner, that she turned her back on the church and the people here, and that she sullied herself.
Okay.
And that she deserved to be pushed out.
All right. Okay. So the touch when Fenemy, when it comes on, sometimes she can make it happen automatically. Other times it just happens when she touches people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes she doesn't have control over that. And I think sometimes she's very cautious about touching people because of that, because she sees things sometimes she doesn't want to see. But so even just like touching Emma to comfort her was kind of a big deal. It means that she likes her because she's taking a risk every time she touches someone. And this is an instance where it came on its own for her. So when she touches her, she just kind of pats her. And there's that moment she gets where she looks like she almost like eyes roll back in her head, and she looks like she's going to pass out or fall because she's getting all these visions in her head. And she has that moment again, and she just kind of like staggers back.
Emma reaches to steady you when that happens. She like grabs your kind of forearm and reaches for your shoulder, and she's like, Fenemy?
Grabs her back and just kind of steadies herself, comes back and looks her in the eye. And was she sitting? I'm sorry, I don't remember.
She was sitting when you came over, but she stood when you started to sway.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So then Fenemy just kind of clasps her both shoulders, draws her in very, very closely, and just says to her, how do I want to word this? Child, you haven't done anything wrong.
She kind of freezes for a moment, And you feel that little attention and a little tremble in her small frame. And then her arms just tighten around you and she just hugs you.
And she as she hugs you, so it's nice and close, okay? So the others, because I particularly don't want to say this like in front of the men around, all right? But I want to make sure like it's a whisper so they don't hear it, but I'm just going to whisper it in her ear. Any God that would judge you for doing something in your nature is not a God worth following. Because he would have created you to do that.
She holds the hug for a moment, and when she pulls back, she kind of looks into your eyes, and you see that she sees something there in your eyes. And it's something that makes her wonder at the same time it assures her.
I particularly have extremely ancient eyes. That is a feature of Fenemy. She just has otherworldly and ancient eyes. But I look at her again in a minute in the eye, and I say, you have a home here, and no one's ever going to judge you.
Thank you.
Be safe.
For both of us.
Of course.
Be careful and silence, Fenemy.
Oh, I've been around a long time. I'll be careful. I know how to take care of myself.
She nods. And she sits back down.
Sandor, it is time to go like Brotherhood of Evil Mutants on this town. I'm not saying that in character. I'm just saying that as Christian.
Just show up at Yeva's tent with a hit list, my dude.
Yep, let's do this. Fuck
You're
this
like
place
everyone
up.
above the age of 16. You're done.
Yeet it into the snake.
Every man in town, the snake is feasting.
Yeah.
The women and children live, unless they're bitches.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Joan's making friends.
Yeah.
Joan comes back with a beagle. Look at this dog.
But Joan, if you're putting this together, is Joan met the mom of the first boy. That was Eric's mom. That was the one that was crying that she was seeing. She lost it, and she's been out in the woods. She became a witch.
And was she the one that was at
she's Mad Mary.
Levi's show?
Yep, Bad Mary. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Joan's making friends. She's starting to name these trees. As she's
Yeah, but you know what?
walking around.
Joan met like the almost only like good person in this whole fucking place.
That's a lie. New Girl is a sweetheart.
Yeah, Emma's adorable.
Oh,
but
that's
like,
right, that's
you
right.
know,
Emma's one of ours now.
Emma's
Yeah,
ours
we're
now.
keeping
Mary
her.
did nothing wrong. Yeah,
We stand in this household.
we do.
Found family.
How many of us are crazy women?
Most of us.
Totally normal.
Joan, you've been wandering through these woods for literal hours at this point. If you weren't so used to walking barefoot, your feet would be bleeding by now. You've covered miles and miles, and your legs are strong, and your body is strong, and you can keep going, but you're starting to really worry about your friends worrying about you. And you've definitely come to the conclusion that these are not normal woods. A part of you knows deep down in your heart of hearts that you are in that shelter belt and that you are yet somehow not in that shelter belt. And that frightens you. You are someone who turns into a wolf sometimes, and you are friends with a man who can crush a steel door by closing it. One of your colleagues can see the future, and you've never encountered anything like this, like space folding the way it must have folded to bring you here. And part of you is frightened that even your incredible colleagues and friends, your pack, your family will not be able to find you here. You certainly haven't had any luck finding them. What do you do?
So first, Joan's over here, and she's just like talking to this dog. And she's like, this tree is going to be Freddie, and this tree is going to be Charlie. And if we see Freddie and Charlie again, they are out of the friend circle.
We're not friends anymore, Charlie.
Exactly. And
One-time friends only.
she's gonna wander around. A little bit of her is just like telling herself that she kind of wants to see Mary again because it's been a long time and she would want to see anybody, but then she kind of doesn't want to see Mary again because that was uncomfortable and strange, and there's something a little bit off there. And what is she gonna do? She's gonna maybe climb a tree and see if she can like look around from someplace up high.
All right, you are fairly good at climbing trees. No roll required. You get up there, maybe the claws come out a little tiny bit and you start scaling. It is difficult to climb the tree and hold on to the dog, however.
Oh, God.
You don't quite have enough fabric to like...
It's true.
Contain it.
I mean, how do mother dogs carry their pups around?
You know?
Doable?
Yeah, if you want to go for it, no roll needed. This is totally on brand. That'll work.
Okay,
this little
great.
pup kind of tucks his tail up there the way that they do when they're being carried by the scruff, and you're like, climbing this tree. You claw your way up to the top of this very tall, very thick old growth tree. This tree must be 200 years old. This is not a tree that was planted by Roosevelt a couple years ago. Okay. But you eventually it gets lighter and lighter as you get to the top. The bottom of this forest is still in fairly deep shade. The canopy is so thick. But as you climb, you can see that day has indeed come. And there's some light up there as you get beyond the brows, and you're starting to get excited. You're like, all right, it is daylight. I'm not stuck in eternal night. I'm going to be able to see like the sun and figure out which way north is and all
maybe
this
like
great
a big
stuff.
Circus tent or something, you know,
or smoke or something.
Yeah, right.
And you're really excited, and you give it that final burst of strength and speed and crest the canopy, and you look out and you see nothing but rolling forests as far as the eye can see, and in the distance, mountains. Forested mountains that like crest the clouds even. It is cool and misty and cloudy and crisp and green and alpine forest everywhere. Yup.
Okay. She's gonna climb back down. Yeah, very slowly.
You scurry back to the forest floor, your heart thumping in your chest and not from physical exertion. And you hear a twig snap. And the pup that you're just about to transfer from your mouth back to your hands lets out this low kind of keening whine that's just pure terror. And you can smell the fear on him, that like kind of fur and urine fear stink coming off of this dog.
Has he been kind of okay for like since we left Mary for like the long wandering time, or has he been a little
He's
bit slightly
been at least nervous the whole time, but hasn't been in abject terror the whole time.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I will see if I can. Do I see when I look at where the twig snapped?
You see nothing without a roll.
Okay, that's what I thought. I will make another keep an eye out for trouble roll. That is a 3.
Can I give you my reroll?
You can take mine. She can take mine.
No.
Yeah.
That's okay. I like it.
To get out of the fucking woods.
I'm
We need her
okay.
to help with the murder.
I'm actually okay with being
Joan's
stuck in
just
the
gonna
woods.
never get out of the woods. That's
I'm okay with this.
Joan doesn't deserve this.
No, she doesn't. Joan is like the best of us.
So I don't see anything.
No, but you feel very much that something is there.
I am going to just start running. Got nowhere to go to though. But I'm going to go the opposite way of the mountains.
All right.
And I'm going to run and maybe endure the darkness roll.
Endure the darkness. Embrace the darkness? Endure the darkness. There it is. Okay,
Endure
here
the
we go.
darkness. Yeah.
Face of danger. Tell me what you want to withstand and roll plus breath.
Is that okay? Can I apply that there?
Yep, absolutely. I would say that this is certainly applicable.
Okay, I will do that and just run holding this little dog. Okay, that is a 9. So the
All
MC
right.
will offer you a wicked bargain, a painful choice, or a price paid to the darkness.
Joan, you can get out of these woods if you drop the pup. You're running right now, your adrenaline is on high, and that survival instinct, which lives in your bones, is kicking hard right now, and it tells you preserve yourself.
Oof.
Do you listen?
Take care of him, Freddie and Charles. I'm gonna drop the dog.
Oh.
I'm gonna
You let the pup go with a little, just leave him behind you. And if he howls or cries, you don't hear it. You just are gone. Swift through the woods. Your arms and legs pumping, your thighs burning,
I take it back. I can't leave this little dog. I can't. I go back.
John can't leave the dog.
I
And
changed my mind. I
the
can't
part
do
of you
it.
that is human tells you can't leave the
I
dog.
can't do it. I go back.
You can go back. You can
All
go
right,
back.
I go back.
You turn around, leaving a big gouge in the dirt there, really scraping up the soles of your feet, which are pretty tough, which says something about how hard you just turned there. So you've got some bloody feet as you're running back to the little pup, which is just kind of backed against a tree right now, just shivering in terror and kind of like just crying, yelping, crying. You run over and you scoop him up.
I'm sorry, Toto. I'm just kidding.
This little dog, you're like, I can't. I have a pack animal.
We're going to get out of here together or not at all. Yeah, he's mine now. Family.
You scoop him up, you're telling him, like, I'm so sorry, little bud, I'm not going to leave you. Your pack, I'm not going to leave you. That sort of thing. And shit, you are stuck in these woods forever, girl.
I am.
You feel very alone. You have this little pup, and it's the only thing that you have right now, and it is soft and weak and defenseless, and you are all it has. And right now, you're not feeling like terribly much. You feel like something is circling you in the dark woods. You are a predator. You've been a predator all your life, and you feel very small right now. Very much like the prey, very much like you are missing your pack, and you are not complete without it. You're just one. You're broken. You are always meant to be more than one.
Question for you. So every time I change, I break a bone. Do you have an idea of what bone was broken this time?
I totally forgot that because yep, I definitely forgot that. Let's say it's a rib.
Okay.
You've been running and stuff, and it's all been very painful. You have this horrible stitch in your side. A rib is broken.
Okay. Oh, God. Just me and this dog in these woods with Mary and her mysterious son.
What does a wolf do when
Forever.
separated from its pack?
I don't know.
House.
I don't actually know. What do they do?
Hey, house.
They howl. Oh, shit. Okay, I guess I will do that. Thank you, Christian.
All right, Joan, feeling very much broken, very much apart from the thing that makes you whole, very much longing for the friendly face of Sandor or even fucking smarmy Yeva and her horrible snake. Like anyone really.
Smarmy. I love it. That's such a perfect description for how I
it's
feel.
so good.
Smarmy.
You
Yeva.
throw your head back and you call out. You put your whole self into the cry. And the little puppy actually howls with you, like doesn't know what to do. It's like, what the fuck is happening? And it's just like, ah. So you're both just in these woods, calling out, putting your whole self out there, trying to find the part of you that is missing and the part of you that is your pack. Back at our carnival, you're standing around here. You've just had a conversation with Emma and Wayland. You have concerns about the town. You have concerns for yourself. You're torn. You know that you're in danger, but you know that others are perhaps in even more danger. And you hear in the distance the long, mournful cry that is unmistakable to all of you as Joan's howl. And it is coming. First, it sounds like it's coming from silence, and then you know it is coming just beyond silence from those shelter trees.
First off, have we ever heard Joan howl out before?
Oh yeah, she howls for fun sometimes.
Yep, you are
This is
well
not a fun
with Joan's howl
She
and with
howls
her
in the
voice.
show. Like
There is a note of fear and desperation and pleading in this howl that you are quite unaccustomed to, though. Joan is not often terrified.
Yep. Which probably means Sanders probably going to break off into a sprint in that direction.
Sandor starts running for the trees. The ground is a little bit like, oh, fuck. Like he's just
The ground
holes in
shakes.
the ground.
Yeah. I'm probably going to like look at...
Other routes just like, get the fuck out of the way. They're like just running, diving.
But before I like break into a sprint, I'm probably gonna just like look at Waylon, look at Fenemy, and just like book it in that direction.
Yeah, Waylon just meets your gaze and it's just like, go. You see on his face, like, go.
Fenemy will comfort Emma because she's a lot of shit going on and she doesn't understand, and she knows that Sandor will probably just kill everything in the forest anyway. So
Emma's like, is that a wolf?
Oh, well, sort of.
complicated question.
It's complicated.
Yes, but no.
It's Joan. You'll meet her in a little bit.
That's just Joan.
Oh, is Sandor all right?
Yes, him and Joan are close.
Can I say that Yeva shows up at this point with Mahala just draped over her? Yeah.
Absolutely. And everyone in the carnival heard that cry.
Yeah.
And everyone in the carnival heard Sandor just running footsteps through the carnival.
We're lucky the tents are still standing.
The ground is just rumbling.
We're probably on the edge as it was.
All the vehicles drop as the tires deflate.
It's a good thing we're probably at the edge as it was.
That was Joan directly followed by Sandor.
Yes.
Well, at least we know where she is, hopefully.
I'm sure Sandor will get to her. It'll be fine. We just don't know where Levi is now, but he's off probably doing Levi things.
He'll reappear.
Yeah, he always does, unfortunately.
He always comes back.
You know, it's almost 9 o'clock. I'm going to take a little narrative leap here to bring Levi back into the narrative. I'm going to say that Levi has been at camp with the boy that he has brought back, entertaining the boy in various ways or talking to him. We'll cover that next session.
Right. He found the kid in the edge of the forest last time. That's right. Okay.
What was that? That was I have it written down here. James? No, Eli.
Yep, this one's Eli. James is the older brother.
Yep.
And at this point, Levi and the kid are going to flag. Levi's going to flag you down as you're running, kind of reaching the edge of camp. Levi's like, Sandor, like, hold up a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the little boy with him, and Levi's like, I know that Joan's in the woods.
I probably have a hard time breaking because I'm like full sprinting at that point.
Just tear a huge gouge in the fucking earth.
Rocks fly up.
Eli here is familiar with the woods. I think he can help us find our friend. And Eli at this point is holding Levi's hand, just kind of fearlessly eating a sweet, just been having a grand old time here at the carnival, not a care in the world. And he just kind of looks at Levi as Levi is like offering this, and he like smiles and he nods.
I'll say it's like, oh, okay. I'm a little worried about how she sounded. Do you think you could try and keep up with me a little bit?
Levi will lift up Eli and insert some sort of biblical quote about shepherding children or protecting them or something,
Yea,
I'm sure.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of darkness, I will not fear. The Lord and thy staff will protect me.
And basically say, like, we're going to go for a little ride, piggyback style, and he'll set off jogging with you toward the woods.
Right.
I take a little narrative leap there, but I think Troy would like to be involved in this.
I don't know if he's still in chat, but Troy did just pop in chat and gift a sub to Otter Poet.
Hey. Otter Poet. I didn't realize Otter Poet was with us.
I don't know if they are. Troy gifted a random sub, and random subs just go out to one of our followers.
Hey. All right.
And it happened to go to Otter Poet.
Nice.
So Troy might be here. Who knows?
It says he's still in chat.
Hey.
Hey,
Hi,
Troy. Hope you don't mind, but I have you and Eli assisting in this drone recovery. All right. So with the long, mournful cry and panicked cry of Joan trapped somewhere in these woods, yet deeper than these woods, we have a couple of the loyal party members / pack mates running off to her rally. A couple more remaining back at camp while tensions within the town stir. And in fact, those of you remaining back at camp as Sandor and Levi kind of disappear down the rolling hills toward the shelter. About a few minutes later, you can see the little dust cloud puffing up of a couple vehicles approaching the carnival. One of them is a pickup truck that you saw parked outside the sheriff's office, Yeva. Home.
She looks at Fenemy and just says, companies here, including one of our friends. And then she looks to Emma and says, let's get you somewhere safe, dear.
She looks toward the vehicles and she just looks at you and she nods.
She, with permission, she will help Emma into her room on the cart, which has all the blankets and pillows and soft things for pregnant women.
Yep, absolutely. She tells you, she's like very quickly, she's like, your place is so lovely.
Thank you.
Like, this is beautiful. Thank you.
I collect soft things for Mihaela and me.
It's lovely. Are you all going to be all right out there? The sheriff is a hard, loud man.
Well, people have been unhappy about us being in their towns before. And it's going to happen again. We'll take care. We always take care of each other.
She kind of settles on one of your little couches or cushions and she says, okay, I'll wait here. I won't get in the way.
It's not about you getting in the way. It's about you staying safe. Both of you.
I'll stay safe then.
And she makes her way out.
All right. Outside, Wayland is gotten himself together, straightened out his jacket, is getting ready to meet the approaching posse, along with Yeva, I am sure, and Fenemy.
Know it.
Yeah, Fenemy is ready. Yeah, she's just smoothing out her skirts and ready to receive these people.
Circling round in that wall of solidarity are several other performers, roustabouts, just other fine folks of this traveling carnival. You know, they're just holding a hammer that they use, to pound the big tent spikes in, or, a knife used to prepare meals, that sort of thing, and just gathering round, waiting to see what trouble is coming up the drive next. And that is where we will leave tonight's session. Next session will likely be our finale. It is later in the afternoon today on Christmas Eve. The sun will be going down soon. And tensions are high. Confrontations are coming to a head. And tune in for our next session to see how it all goes down.
Which will be our first of 2023.
Yeah.
So thanks for ending the year with us. That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining on this last episode of 2022, which is absolutely wild. We will see you next time. In next session will be January the 13th. It'll be a Friday the 13th for our finale. Very appropriate. If you like what you see
Friday
here,
the 13th, when everyone in silence dies.
Yep.
It's fine.
You deserve it, most of them.
If you like what you see, you can give us a follow on the Twitch. It is free, and it'll just let you know when we are going live, which is usually every other Friday at 7 p.m. EST-ish. Unless enough people fail their con saves, and then we will let you know on all of our social medias.
Happens sometimes, and it's unavoidable. Yep.
Yeah.
We are but mere mortals of flesh and bone here at
Most
DMs
of us,
After
not
Dark.
me, but the other ones.
Well, yeah, you're a lich. That's different.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just gristling leather.
That's all. That's all.
We're on all the social medias at DMs After Dark. You can also check us out on all of the podcast apps under DMs After Dark, which has our main podcast currently on hiatus, Modified Roles, all of the audio versions of these shows on Twitch, the occasional 1d6, 1d4, which is my Chaos Baby, and right now, Rainy's solo project, playing with myself on the internet, where he does solo RPG stuff.
Which, despite its title, is probably the most
Very
wholesome thing we've
family-friendly.
ever put up, and is extremely family friendly. Do we want to talk about stuff that's coming up in the new year too?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So a couple things. One, we are working on some t-shirts. So just gonna get them from the people we're getting them from, which is Redbubble, to make sure they don't suck. And then it will be live and available if you want to rep our merchandise and be cool. And support the stream. The other thing, which I did put a video up on our Facebook, I think maybe Rainy might have changed it across on Instagram too, but our next game will be a slight change of format for us, because we've done traditionally like shorter series and rotated, and that honestly it's a lot of fun, but it's hard to come up with new characters and everything and new stories on short notice. And we also feel sometimes that you don't want to leave those characters. When you spend some time with them, you get to like them, and you're like, well, wait, I don't want that story to be over. So we've decided that we're gonna take a longer format for at least the next game we play, and we might still intersperse some short ones, and definitely our trademark stupid one shots. But the next game will be RuneQuest, which I'm running, and I'm really excited about it. If you've never heard of RuneQuest, it is the other OG fantasy role-playing game, because it's as old as I'm older than it, but it's as old as actually technically I'm not, which is cool. It's as old as D&D. It came out about the same time. The world that it's set in, Glorantha, is actually predates D&D. It's written by Greg Stafford. It's a really awesome, very mythologically dense Bronze Age fantasy game. I think you guys are going to like it. And I'm running a pre-written campaign, which is very highly regarded, called 6 Seasons in Sartar, which is a great introduction to it. So even if you don't know all this stuff, we'll learn all the role, like the lore together, because there's a shit ton of it. And I'm really looking forward to running it, because if you've listened to our podcast, I have nerd boyed about RuneQuest hard a lot.
Christian has been gushing about this game for months.
A year. Oh, a solid year, because Amber got the starter set for me when it went out at Gen Con.
That's right.
And since then, I've just been like, oh my God. And I will tell you, I literally was like, why do I need another fantasy role-playing game? And then I opened it and I saw why. So join us, and you will also see why, hopefully.
Yeah, I will say from what I've read of RuneQuest, it is a lot of the fantasy RPGs are very medieval based. RuneQuest takes you back further, takes you Bronze Age. It's totally different.
Mythic.
Yeah.
It's mythic. Yeah, it feels very epic. So it's fantasy in its own light, and I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
We're talking the Iliad. We're talking the Odyssey. We're talking Gilgamesh. We're
Yes.
old epics. Beowulf.
Yep.
With
Beowulf.
a lot of inclusivity.
Beowulf.
So-
Christian has some trauma associated with Beowulf.
I have so everybody needs to know that I'm playing our off stream obsession is Valheim, and I joined Amber and Kent's game like late and was a noob right when they were trying to tame locks, which are like these big kind of almost like owlbear things, and so I named my character Grendel because it's a pun on my last name, and proceeded to die like 15 times in a row.
So many times trying to trap
trying
this
to
locks.
tame this locks. So we named the locks Beowulf because that's Grendel's bane, right? So yeah.
And Beowulf's baby mama is Wiglaf, because we all know.
Yes, we know.
all
We know
know.
what went on there. That was the many lonely nights on that ship. Sailing.
We're such nerds. We're sorry, guys. But we're not. We're not sorry. We're most of us English majors.
Not sorry at all. All right. So I think that's all we've got for now, right?
I think that's it on the big news. If any local folks are going to Captain Con in February, you might see a few of us there, perhaps even join a couple games some of the DMs might be running, or any panels we might be putting on. We will, more details on that coming soon, but Captain Con is local gaming convention at the Crown Plaza in Warwick, Rhode Island. Most of us will be there at least at some point.
Yes.
Hope to see you there. Come and say hi if you see us.
Yeah, definitely.
So thank you guys so much for joining. I already went over my, oh God, you guys made me lose my spiel. Oh, fuck. All right, you know what? It's fine. We said all the things. Here we are. Have a very happy new year. Hope the end of 2022 is fun for you and that 2023 treats you well. We will be back in the new year with the same amount of shitty humor, dick jokes, and references to our favorite eldritch god, Yukon Cornelius, as you can expect. Have a good night.
I'm running out of time to incorporate Yukon Cornelius, okay?
Yeah, you got to give us some...
No, you still got it. What's
He's
that?
in our
Finale
Yeah.
Cornelius is coming up.
He's in our troop. What are you talking about? We're only
You
a
did
little...
put some mountains in there.
There are mountains. We got...
You know what? My next tree friend will be Yukon Cornelius. That's what we'll
Ah.
We'll get in one last Yukon. Have a good night, everyone. We're a little sorry. And until
Just a
next
little.
time, fade your snakes well.
Good night, guys. Happy New Year.
Have a good
Happy
night.
New Year, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.